I want to talk about integrative medicine and how to end the healthcare crisis. Integrative medicine is a combination of alternative medicine and conventional medicine. Now, I've discovered that a lot of what we call alternative medicine works really well, and besides that, it tends to be much less expensive. I think it's only common sense for physicians to incorporate alternative medicine into their practice of medicine. After all, how could it hurt for a doctor to have more tools in his toolkit? I look forward to a day when the term alternative medicine is no longer used. The term medicine should encompass everything that works to make the patient better. But for now, we have alternative medicine and conventional medicine. Common sense says we should combine the two, so I practice integrative medicine. I went into medicine in the first place because I became aware at an early age of the importance of nutrition. And I was not impressed with how the medical industry deals with nutrition. Therefore, I saw a need that I could help with and set about to become a doctor. Generally speaking, the medical industry ignores the relationship between what people eat and how healthy they are. And this is a major oversight at a very fundamental level. Nutrition is an integral part of integrative medicine. This leads me to explain why we have a healthcare crisis. I work by a principle that says, if there's a problem, the main solution to the problem is to eliminate the cause of the problem. So once I tell you why we have a healthcare crisis, it will be obvious how to fix it. For the most part, and I believe that I make this statement with 90% accuracy, people in America are sick because they're not eating the food that God designed them to eat. God designed us to eat natural food, but at this time in human history, most people are eating processed food. We're putting the wrong fuel in the tank. Of course our bodies don't run right. This is why disease is so prevalent. This is why it's so expensive to try to keep Americans functioning. This is why there's a healthcare crisis. Now I say, generally speaking, disease is caused by processed food. In contrast, conventional medicine behaves as if disease has no cause. It just comes out of nowhere. You have your disease because you're unlucky. And the doctor's job is just to treat it. There's no need to bother looking for a cause because there is no cause. Treating diseases that come out of nowhere is what medicine is all about. The expense of paying to treat diseases that come out of nowhere is what the healthcare crisis is all about. If disease did just come out of nowhere, it would make sense to deal with the healthcare crisis by focusing on coming up with dollars to treat disease. Obamacare and other attempts that we've seen to fix the healthcare crisis are schemes for coming up with dollars to pay to treat diseases that come out of nowhere. Now, what makes these attempts to address the problem so ridiculous is that disease does not just come out of nowhere. Disease has a cause. A solution that would not be ridiculous would be to address the cause. I want to describe a situation that would be similar to the healthcare crisis. I call it the car care crisis. My car was designed by Chrysler to run on gasoline. Imagine if I chose to run kerosene in my car instead of gasoline. My car would run, I suppose, but it would run horribly. It would be stalling out all over town. I'd have one problem after another with that car. I would live half my life in the mechanic shop. Now imagine if almost everyone in America put kerosene in his car instead of gasoline. Imagine the horrible car care crisis we would have. It would be overwhelming. You'd have automotive cripples all over America, and it would create a huge financial problem. And if we had a car care crisis because most people were putting kerosene in their tanks, then the solution would not be for the government to get involved and redistribute income and make sure that everyone had access to mechanic shops. The solution to the car care crisis would be to get the fundamentals right. Start putting gasoline in the cars instead of kerosene. Likewise, Let's put natural foods in humans and not processed foods. So in conclusion, I have a message for President Obama. Mr. President, I'll tell you how to go down in history as one of the great presidents. Join your wife, Michelle. Use your considerable eloquence to encourage Americans to eat the foods they were designed to eat. Teach the folks to put the right fuel in their tanks. And while you're at it, encourage America's doctors to practice integrative medicine. The healthcare crisis would be on the way out. Thank you for listening.